You know, James Kincaid, the phrase dream match gets thrown around way too regularly. But I challenge you, hell, I dare you to show me a bigger dream match than what we have on tap right now.
Tag team main event here. And you're right. And like I said, a tag team match for the ages. Something that, you know, a couple short weeks ago, I don't think any of us would have thought was possible.
Yeah, maybe in a video game or with action figures.
But after a 3.5-year hiatus, Chris Hero is back. And tonight he has brought Kenta with him. And it was at the end of Whiplash that Chris Hero laid down the challenge to that man, the aesthetic crippler, Kevin Blackwood. And as you see the sign that says, yeah, that boy ain't right. And it's really true. He hasn't been right for a long time in West Coast Pro Wrestling. Threw in his lot with Alan Angels for a long time period. And it's just sort of, I don't know, sort of searching for something. I'm not quite sure what that something is.
Interesting.
But he's been a thorn in the side of Chris Hero, and it's just really made a lot of people's lives miserable at West Coast Pro.
If you're a first-time viewer of West Coast Pro and you're a Kevin Blackwood fan, you're in store for a very different Kevin Blackwood. As you said, can't quite put our finger on him. The aesthetic crippler is a totally different beast here on the coast.
And making his return fresh off the plane from Japan, again, part of that talent exchange with Marvelous. The former West Coast Pro champion, the franchise Titus Alexander, and yes, still the most punchable face in pro wrestling. But how will Titus rebound and recalibrate here? I know he was upset about being put into this matchup by Chris Hero, cutting his trip to Japan short, and again, out of the frying pan into the fire. You get off the plane from that tour of Japan, and you've got, again, an incredible matchup. Can't wait to see it unfold, but no rest for the wicked, and none much more wicked than Titus Alexander.
Wait for impartial commentary, James Kincaid, but nevertheless, Titus Alexander, talking to both of us, begrudgingly I might add, a little bit earlier on tonight, very upset. Hero forcing him to return home early from Japan for this matchup. A treat for us, but a nightmare for him.
Yeah, a dream match for so many that could also become a nightmare for either team. As an odd feeling falls over the crowd here at the Don Quixote in Los Angeles. West Coast Pro has created a monster.
He's home! You know, James Kincaid, there has been a great deal of talk about the go to sleep in the world of professional wrestling over the last week. But here we see the man who created it and the man who, for the last 2 decades, has been putting people to sleep with it.
And he's got 2 great options to use it on in that ring right now. I'd love to see him hit it on both those guys. It would be great. I'm sure it would delight the crowd here, but what a moment. Kenta making his West Coast Pro debut. No hocus pocus, just focus on the face of that man. What an atmosphere here in LA.
Kenta, former never openweight champion, former IWGP US champion, the only 2-time New Japan Strong openweight champion in history. Tonight,
and listen to this crowd though chant for his partner.
Joining forces with an old foe.
And it still hasn't quite fully sunk in that the knockout artist, the wrestling genius, Chris Hero, is back. But he is returning in Whiplash, defeating Timothy Thatcher emphatically, then setting this matchup. And there he is yet again. Chris Hero, all the way back.
You know, James Kincaid, there are moments as commentators where you pinch yourself, that you get the opportunity to have the best seat in the house, to have some small part in magic like this. And that is what we are witnessing here tonight. For the first time in half a decade, the wrestling genius returns to Southern California. Years of wars here against the likes of Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., Akira Tozawa, the list goes on and on. A homecoming for Hero.
Let me sum it up. It's you see the name on the back of that jacket there. He is a giant among legends, Chris Hero.
Couldn't have said it better myself. LL Cool J said, don't call it a comeback. In that very same song, LL Cool J also said, Mama said knock you out. And indeed, James Kincaid, Mama must be screaming because the knockout artist has arrived.
And again, two great options to do just that. Chris Hero teased retirement after he defeated Thatcher at Whiplash, just to, I think, get a rise out of some of us, yours truly included.
And he got me. I was watching along on YouTube. He got me.
His run is not done, not by a long shot.
Introducing the Blackwood, first from Buffalo, New York, weighing in at 187 pounds, Blackwood! And his partner from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 201 pounds, he's the franchise, Titus!
And the bell has not even rung. Again, the atmosphere is electric. The action is about to become frightfully hectic.
James,
Four incredible battlers about to do what they do best. Go ahead, Jordan Castle.
James Kincaid, simply put, without hyperbole, I would not be sitting in this chair next to you without those two men, Chris Hero and Kenta. An honor to be sat beside you for this, a dream match main event.
James Kincaid calling the action alongside Jordan Castle. Happy to be sharing in this with you, my friend, and happy to be sharing it with all of the West Coast Pro and wrestling fans all around the world. Hashtag West Coast Monster. It is main event time. We are underway. Kenta and Blackwood starting things off. And look at the face of Kevin Blackwood. Blackwood talking a lot of smack, talking about, listen to this crowd. Coming unglued here, the West Coast block, and Titus Alexander trying to cover the ears of Blackwood. Blackwood had said, you know, maybe back in the mid-2000s I would have feared Kenta, but I don't fear this version. Big talk from the aesthetic crippler.
Yet saying he's not the same Kevin Blackwood who 1 year ago took a photo with Kenta, excited and eager. He wants to put Kenta in his place, but maybe a little more bark than bite as he tags in Titus Alexander.
Yeah, tagging in Titus, refusing to actually touch with Kenta, and now Chris Hero, who I think really wants to get his hands on Titus Alexander. Again, both these men, thorns in the side of our head matchmaker, now newly returned pro wrestling icon, Chris Hero. And look at Titus
Come
again.
on.
Using Sparky Ballard. I see he has learned nothing from the defeat at the hands of Starboy Charlie. Runs in the
big
family.
Ugly,
yeah.
Kiss me,
Jinx,
man.
buy me a Coke. Blackwood back in there now. And I think Chris Hero really would love to just get his hands on both these guys and teach them a lesson. I mean, that's what has brought us here tonight.
Well, listen, specifically, the reason that this matchup happened is because at Whiplash, that very same event where Hero defeated Timothy Thatcher and then laid out the gauntlet, in the opening contest after being defeated by Jaya Jewel, Kevin Blackwood attacked him after the match. So Hero said, hey, you want to be a bully? You want to act like a D-head? You want to abuse people? It doesn't work here.
Yeah, not once you pick on somebody like me and Hero just depositing Blackwood down to the mat. And I mean, it goes beyond that too. I mean, Blackwood has made a mockery of some of Hero's booking decisions, including in the West Coast Cup. And I think Hero's just had enough of both of the antics of both Blackwood and Titus Alexander.
Listen, James, Chris Hero prides himself on being a mentor, on being a coach, on giving back to the world of professional wrestling, specifically here in his home of the coast. He talked about as much on the most recent edition of the AEW Unrestricted podcast. I think part of what's so frustrating for Hero is he sees such potential in Kevin Blackwood. He sees such potential in Titus Alexander, and he sees that because of their ego, because of their attitude, that potential is going to waste. This is perhaps some tough love.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. A chance to knock and beat some sense into both of them. Of course, Titus Alexander has had a tremendous amount of success in the West Coast ring. So has Kevin Blackwood. But again, we talk about he's sort of searching for something. This attitude makeover has not been for the better of the aesthetic crippler as he's trying to get one up on Chris Hero, and nothing doing yet for Blackwood. Hero starting to throw him around a little bit in there. And playing with Blackwood.
Listen, Hero may have been an authority figure over the course of the past year here in West Coast Pro, but he has an ego. He has a hubris in and of himself.
He takes a lot of pride in his body of work, and who can blame him? Look at that. Blackwood just unloading on Kenta. A sneak attack, but Hero giving it right back to Blackwood on behalf of his partner.
Blackwood wants to put Kenta in his place, but he's only going to hit the guy when he's the illegal partner, when he's the illegal competitor.
That sounds about right for the aesthetic crippler that we've seen of late. Chris Hero in control, trying to take it to Kevin Blackwood's got that wrist control, and I think what was Hero have in mind here? Little digit manipulation. I think Blackwood offered up those fingers, and Hero all too willing to take advantage of him and take him apart. Oh, nasty.
He'll be lucky if he doesn't tear Kevin Blackwood's hand in two after this. My goodness.
And a stomping on the hand and the elbow. Joint could be destroyed there. Blackwood in a bad way.
You think Kevin Blackwood is regretting some of his words and his actions towards Chris Hero right now?
To be honest, I doubt it. I don't think he really regrets much of anything. In spite of the world of hurt that he now finds himself in, and Kenta is tagged in, and Blackwood just beelines it for Titus Alexander. The franchise back to being the legal man, and attacking Kenta from behind, and you hear the boos start to rain down. A familiar serenade for the former champion.
Take so much pride in saying that, James
I just
Kincaid.
like to enunciate.
Indeed, the longest reigning heavyweight champion in company history, 371 days with successful defenses against the likes of Alec Price, Nick Wayne, Michael Oku, JT Thorne, Vinny Massaro, Kevin Knight. Despite his attitude, Titus Alexander was arguably the most dominant champion in company history.
He holds the record for the most successful title defenses in West Coast Pro history. That is true. And he can say nothing about Titus Alexander's just world of talent. He is as top tier as it gets, but it's his attitude and how he carries himself that gets him into trouble, and you're starting to see that now.
How interesting that Titus Alexander is currently in the ring with Kenta, a man who cut his teeth in Pro Wrestling Noah, made a name for himself in Pro Wrestling Noah, because who just returned from an excursion of Japan, namely in Pro Wrestling Noah, but the franchise himself, Titus Alexander.
That's right. It's, as you see now, Kenta sort of showing up Titus a little bit and just about kicked the former champion's mouth off. certainly would be an improvement if he did just that. And now a flurry of strikes, but finger to the eye. Titus Alexander employing the old family tactics, the shortcuts. Look at that. There you see Titus tried to get Kenta over, but able to put a stop to it and just slapping the former champion across the face, knocking the taste right out of his mouth.
I thought Kevin Blackwood was coming in to face Kenta finally, but instead beelining for Chris Hero, and now getting a taste of both of these men, both of these legends. How about the wars that these two men have waged over the years, James Kincaid?
Blackwood in a bad way and just got thrown into his own partner, and you're right. I mean, that's what I think led Chris Hero to pick Kenta, that mutual respect, knowing that, hey, I need a partner that can help me humble two incredibly talented but egomaniacal guys. Nobody better than somebody I've gone to war with a number of times.
Over the course
like
of the last
Kenta.
20 years in Kenta's native pro wrestling, Noah, Hero telling us earlier on tonight, one of the best matches of his career, one of his favorite matches in the HD Net era of Ring of Honor.
And that's saying something. You talk about the body of work of Chris Hero, and Kenta right now holding court at the expense of Titus Alexander.
And right now, the veterans, the legends, in the form of Hero and Kenta with full control, teaching the young guns a lesson here.
And Titus trapped in the corner, elbow to the face for good measure from Kenta, and then just a vicious chop from Hero.
How long do you think Hero's wanted to do that to the former West Coast Pro Heavyweight Champion?
I'm sure Chris Hero is reveling in this a little bit, no doubt about it, just as I'm sure Blackwood and Alexander sort of are licking their chops at the chance to get their hands on the boss as well. But right now, it is Chris Hero's world. What a kick! Just kicking Titus out of the air, and on down to the mat goes the franchise.
That's the thing, if you've never had the privilege of watching a Chris Hero match, he's very clearly a big guy, a strong guy, but he is as quick and as athletic as they come. Truly the most well-rounded professional wrestler you will ever find.
Hero starting to play, I'd say, a little bit of bully ball here on Titus Alexander, teaching him a lesson as you see the knee pad down, exposing. That's going to be perhaps bone on face.
Yeah,
for Titus Alexander.
Indeed.
Yes, rearranging the franchise. Got him on the jaw, maybe clip the nose. I'm trying to keep my eye on, see if Titus might, maybe a little bit of blood. We'll see. Something to keep an eye on. But right now, Chris Hero in control.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. The knee, one of the hardest bones in the body. The face, one of the most sensitive parts of the body. A lethal combination for the franchise.
Titus in a bad way right now.
I mean, he already did. He told us he was pissed off that Hero made him come home early, but Titus definitely wishes he was back in Japan right about now.
Well, being introduced to the Japanese boot of Kenta, and back to being an illegal man, and Titus is just trapped in a torture chamber with Hero and Kenta right now.
Yeah, one of the finest exports of the land of the rising sun. Kenta systematically dissecting Alexander here.
Neckbreaker from Kenta. Titus is down. Is he out? Not yet for 3. Just getting that left shoulder up. Now this time Kenta able to waylay Blackwood, turning that around from earlier in the matchup.
Yeah, giving Blackwood a little bit of a taste of his own medicine here, saying if you won't come to me, I'll come to you.
And Titus staggering up to his feet. Wild swing and a miss right into the DDT from Kenta, spiking the former champion dead center of the black and blue, and there's Blackwood to break up the pin. Gotta believe the 3 count was coming there.
I mean, James Kincaid, this one has been all the veterans thus far. Kenta and Hero have dominated this matchup.
Yeah, it's going exactly as Hero and Kenta planned thus far.
And you know, Kincaid, I'm curious about this. Blackwood very clearly does not, oh, hold on, maybe they can go to sleep.
Could be go to sleep for Titus, but Blackwood rushing in to save his partner and just about kick Hero's head off. And now, taking his eye off of Titus for one moment, Titus hits that beautiful and devastating drop kick, and Kenta is down. And I'll give Kevin Blackwood credit for charging in to save his partner absolutely kicking the head off of Chris Hero. And, even though he ate one from Kenta in his own right, might be the tide turner in the matchup.
Yeah, talk about one of the most beautiful drop kicks in professional wrestling. You're talking about Titus Alexander, and James, I think he spoke to it a few moments ago. Titus's nose is busted open. You saw him wiping some blood on that wrist tape. He is dripping, man.
And that is definitely something to keep your eye on. The longer this match goes, the more blood he will be losing. People react differently to when that happens. I've seen Titus Alexander get busted open before and still maintain and go on to victory. Same with Kevin Blackwood.
And now Kevin Blackwood wants in this matchup. Now, once Kenta's been neutralized by the franchise, now Kevin Blackwood wants to pick the bones. All right.
Trapped in the corner, and now the aesthetic crippler starting to ply his trade at the expense of Kenta. Into the cover.
Again,
not yet. I think that was more just sort of symbolic than anything from Blackwood.
Yes, saying, I know I can beat you, trying to get in the head of Kenta. We talk about how this is, or I guess I should say was, Kevin Blackwood's dream match, at least at one point. He said that he wants to fill the void that Kenta and Hero left in professional wrestling, that him and Titus are better than Kenta has ever been, and he's going to make his dream their nightmare.
I think Kevin Blackwood is dreaming about that.
Hold on, Hero intervening here, very frustrated.
Yeah, trying to help out Kenta, but getting cut off at every turn, and Sparky Ballard keeping Hero in his corner, but with Sparky's back turn, Titus Alexander and Blackwood just teeing off on Kenta.
Well, listen, James, Hero knows better than that. I understand it's easy for me to say sitting at the booth, but he's a veteran of over 25 years. But he knows the second he enters that matchup, especially against competitors like Titus Alexander and Kevin Blackwood, they're going to use the numbers game.
But again, it's been very frustrating for him because he knows the kind of underhanded tactics that Blackwood and Titus are employing. Right into the cover after the double team, still only two. Kenta really needs to make a tag here.
Well, not only the type of underhanded tactics they're employing in this matchup, but the type of underhanded tactics, the type of cockiness they've employed for the entirety of their time, I should say, in West Coast Pro. This one has been bubbling for a very, very long time.
Blackwood, I think, might be finding out that Kenta is not to be toyed with here. Kenta starting to weather just staggered back into the corner. I spoke too soon. I thought maybe Kenta was finding signs of life. And now look at Titus just cheap shotting Kenta.
Now listen, Blackwood doing exactly what he said he was going to do to Kenta. He's making his dream Kenta's nightmare.
And once again, Hero sent to the outside. Hero's losing control. Hero just launching a chair from the outside in. And Titus Alexander, Hero is losing it here.
Hero's lucky if he doesn't get himself disqualified here.
No doubt about it.
He's got to be very careful.
And Titus Alexander, love him or hate him, got to believe catching that chair now, mocking Chris Hero. That's only going to serve to, poke the bear more. Chris Hero, I think he needs to take a seat, take a breath, and sort of control his emotion a little bit here.
Well, James, he may need to take a breath, but Kenta desperately needs a tag. He's in a bad way here.
Hero trying to will Kenta to make that tag, trying to help his partner, but Hero has essentially been neutralized, and Kenta is getting brutalized.
Yeah, I gotta say, we may not like it, all right? You may take great pleasure in mocking the man, but the underhanded tactics, the ego of Kevin... Oh, hold on here.
Kenta down. Will it be 3? No.
The ego of Titus Alexander is paying dividends. He has gotten in Chris Hero's head. You have to give him that. I don't like it.
No,
you got to give him that.
Absolutely. He's gotten under the skin of Chris Hero, and it is paying big-time dividends in that matchup because Kenta's got nowhere to go. He's been isolated. He is stuck in the wrong part of the ring, the black side of the black and blue, the dark side, if you will. That is where Titus Alexander and Kevin Blackwood reside. And Kenta has just got to score with anything to create some type of breathing room.
And indeed,
to get a tag.
Embracing the dark side here tonight are Titus Alexander and Kevin Blackwood. I think you mentioned it a few moments ago that Titus Alexander pouring blood out of his nose. Maybe that inspired him, but maybe this disrespect from Titus inspired Kenta here, James.
Yeah, Kenta starting to let that adrenaline take over. It can do wonders. As my broadcast colleague Todd Kennelly might say, Kenta maybe seizing an opening here, tornadoing, oh, hanging. Titus up over that top rope, in charges Blackwood. Kenta now with the opening.
Hanging the throat of Titus Alexander, taking the wind out of the franchise there with that tornado DDT.
Yeah, and maybe shutting him up a little bit too. Side Russian leg sweep, Titus is down. Is this the opening that Kenta needs?
Kenta must be a Bonnie Tyler fan because he's holding out for a hero, and we're gonna get one.
It's gotta be sure, it's gotta be soon, and Chris Hero is damn sure larger than life.
Titus Alexander misses, and a big boot from the big man.
Chris Hero getting exactly what he wants. All that frustration now being taken out on Titus Alexander and Kevin Blackwood. What a senton from Hero.
You know, you talk about songs, the only one that matters is Hero's entrance music, the first lyric. Chris is awesome, and that on full display.
Crowd coming to life. Titus could be out. No.
What a flurry from Chris Hero. It is so great to have the knockout artist back in a professional wrestling ring. What a time to be alive.
Seizing the pendulum of momentum single-handedly, Chris Hero. After, I mean, he's just coming unglued, being trapped on the outside, getting cheap-shotted, throwing that chair into the ring, and now, like I said, taking out those frustrations at the moment on the franchise Titus Alexander.
That is why Titus's disrespect is a double-edged sword. Sure, here,
hold on.
on.
Look at death blow maybe there. Titus caught him backslide. This is how they're going to win. No.
It's a double-edged sword. Titus almost made Hero get himself disqualified, but also when Hero finally got in the matchup, well, you're seeing what they have to deal with right now.
Yeah, exactly. Fury from Chris Hero just upside the head of Blackwood. I've never seen just an open hand strike like that to Blackwood do that to him. My goodness. And Hero,
look at the strength, just deadlifting Blackwood.
Deadly intentions from Chris Hero, rearranging Blackwood, gonna be 3, no. Take nothing away from the resolve of Blackwood, able to kick out of that. And the crowd again coming to life for their hero.
Yeah, you saw some frustration creeping into the mind of the wrestling genius here, but Chris Hero luckily has the West Coast flock firmly behind him and has to feed off of that against the aesthetic crippler.
Chris Hero in full control, but as what do you call it, the commentator curse?
Commentator's curse, yes, sir.
Oh, maybe not yet. Blackwood tried to put the brakes on and just ate an absolutely unbelievable shot for his trouble.
Well, we also have to point out, James Kincaid, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, this is a tag team match, and Hero, a decorated tag team wrestler. You think back to his time as one half of the Kings of Wrestling alongside Claudio Castagnoli? Oh, my God.
Incredibly accomplished in whatever he has set his mind to do. The wrestling genius has done it all, and right now he is destroying Kevin Blackwood, but out of nowhere, Blackwood with the counter and into the cover. Blackwood gonna steal it from Hero here, no.
The power from Kevin Blackwood is unbelievable, James.
The snap power from Kevin Blackwood, able to turn that around in the blink of an eye and nearly planting Hero for 3 there.
Nearly only counts in horseshoes and hand grenade. You can see, as much as it took out of Hero, that suplex took quite a bit out of Kevin Blackwood here.
Blackwood looking to follow up here now. Those kicks, Hero eating them. But it's, I think, firing up Hero perhaps as he's trying to fight his way back up to his feet.
Yeah, Hero knows how to deal with kicks, whether against the American Dragon or, hell, his tag team partner tonight, Kenta.
Well said. He's seen it all. He's taken it all. What a kick to the head.
Off comes the elbow pad. Looking to put Kevin Blackwood to sleep.
KO. Black, no.
And it would have been. I mean, Kevin Blackwood is knocked out cold, James. Kincaid got those donut eyes all glazed over.
Oh, took your eye off the ball. That's how you get hurt, Titus.
And essentially,
these two might be going home in butcher paper when Chris Hero's done with them. My goodness.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And look at Chris Hero. I think he wants Kenta to rejoin the fray here.
They might be calling bedtime, perhaps here.
Give Kevin Blackwood a melatonin. It's about that time.
Oh,
whoa,
malfunction there as Blackwood is able to escape there. No ill intent, but look, again, these two are not exactly, frequent tag team. Oh, goodness, Hero just clocked Kenta.
Well, James Kincaid, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the last time these two teamed was in July of 2017, over 6 years ago.
And it didn't go well, and it's not going well in there right now as they're starting to tee off on each other. What the hell is going on? And Blackwood was loving it. Look, Titus and Blackwood are loving it.
These two men are tag team partners.
This thing has just devolved.
Oh, but Hero and Kenta realizing their mistake.
Oh, back on the same page and back on the attack are Hero and Kenta. And, maybe just, sort of just taking things and getting back on the same page here as tag team partners.
Listen.
Have to do it in an unorthodox way.
No kidding. Oh, my goodness. Float over DDT there from Kenta.
Rope assisted, and you see the pupils of Blackwood starting to spin in his head like saucers.
James, you said it earlier. These men they're not friends per se. They have respect for each other over the course of 2 decades of waging war, but they're not going to go over a drink after the show. They're not going to post pictures on social media here. And that respect is definitely being tested here.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of miscommunications in there, and then you just had to take out their frustrations. There's been a lot of it to go around as Kenta was going off the top looking for a stomp.
Kenta was going for Kevin Blackwood's signature double foot stomp, a double foot stomp he has made a career out of hitting from absolutely everywhere.
Kenta did his homework and was not above a little bit of mind games himself. Didn't pay off, but will this? Taking down Blackwood.
And in comes Alexander.
Titus charging in handspring, gonna look for that cutter, and he hits it. Signature offense from Titus Alexander, but lying in wait. Chris Hero gonna go for it again and just clobbered Titus from behind.
Handspring directly into the elbow.
And now a stomp from Blackwood.
Can hit it from absolutely anywhere, but Hero rolls out before he can capitalize.
Chaos reigning at Monster, and another calamity of humanity in West Coast Flock. Won't you lend your lungs to me? Unbelievable action every which way you look. Hero on the outside, Alexander on the outside. Kenta and Blackwood struggling to get to their feet in the center of the ring. Blackwood up first, barely.
He's on spaghetti legs. He's
trying to find his
here.
footing, but now starting to size up Kenta.
I mean, you gotta think, despite the bravado, this is a moment that Kevin Blackwood has been envisioning for years. Probably since he watched tapes or YouTube videos of the old Chris Hero Kenta matches from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of ways, perhaps so laser focused that, oh, look at them going down just nose to nose. Was he maybe just too obsessed with Kenta here? We'll see as they start to trade kicks. Kenta starting to impose his will, blocking Blackwood's kick, scoring with his own, and you see Blackwood tried to fire up, but nothing doing. Just too much on those kicks from Kenta. Blackwood doubled over.
At a certain point, the adrenaline just gives way, and it might be time, James.
Kenta was sensing it. Blackwood knew it too, did everything he could to get out of it. Oh, and a kick to the side of the head. And Blackwood gonna try and plant Kenta with the brainbuster now.
Did Kevin Blackwood just put Kenta to sleep?
Hit him with the brainbuster, and Blackwood looking to put the finishing touches on Kenta here. What a victory this would be for the aesthetic crippler. No more searching. He has found it. It is victory over Kenta. No, it is not. Not yet.
Kevin Blackwood, milliseconds away.
Kevin Blackwood is signaling for the go to sleep. Kevin Blackwood is going to add the ultimate insult and exclamation mark to this matchup at the expense of his one-time hero, mentor of Sal. No, Kenta able to catch it. Kenta blocked it.
A fool's error from Kevin Blackwood.
No one would know better how to escape the go to sleep than Kenta.
He created the move.
And now unloading on the arrogant, the brash, the insolent Blackwood. Kenta making Blackwood pay for every thought, for every insult.
I think right now Kevin Blackwood's dream is becoming his nightmare, James Kincaid.
Into the cover, deep hook. No, not three.
And look at Kenta.
But Kenta is wide awake, but Blackwood might not be for long. Kenta saying it's over.
Saying this is how it's done. Let me show you, whippersnapper.
Gets Blackwood up and raking at the eyes was Blackwood. And now in comes Titus Alexander. Tag was made from the top rope. Nobody home for Alexander. Able to roll through. Able to catch Kenta. Mercy! Has Kenta dead to rights. A roar of defiance from the former champion. Looking perhaps Chaos Theory here. Tag was made.
Titus doesn't realize.
Titus didn't see it. Chaos Theory connects. Tag was made. And the senton from Hero.
The past versus the present of pro wrestling. Noah cut off by the knockout artist. No!
And once again looking to KO the former champion was Hero. And a snap German from Titus. Running right back into the knee. Hero tried to roll through it. Not to be. Titus gonna beat Chris Hero here. And eyelash. Ever so close, look at the eyes. Sparky Ballard was getting ready to hit the mat there for 3. Hero just got the shoulder up.
And in comes Kevin Blackwood here. He may not have been able to put away Kenta, but he's looking to do the same to Chris Hero. Look at these two brash young guns. These egomaniacs here, taking all their frustrations out on the matchmaker.
It's starting to slip away, it seems, from Hero and Kenta as once again Blackwood and Titus in full control.
Hold on, Hero catches the leg.
Hero taking it to both Blackwood and Titus, setting them up and knocking them, holding each other up, and still on their feet are Titus and Blackwood, but dazed, dizzied, and rallying. Still rallying, Blackwood and Titus.
The numbers game always catches up.
Well, now it's 2-on-2 in stereo. Go to sleep to Titus. Oh, Blackwood able to escape. It was night-night for Titus. Oh, and now it could be night-night for Blackwood.
But Chris Hero's not done.
Blackwood setting him up here. Death blow from Chris Hero.
Count to 100, Gil.
Put it on the board. Hero and Kenta are victorious. Hero and Kenta prevail after just an absolutely wild tag team main event. At one point, it broke down to where Hero and Kenta were attacking one another, and in some ways, maybe that was the turning point, caused them to get back on the same page, and then at that point, they were able to weather everything that Blackwood and Titus threw at them.
Perhaps some old wounds never healed, but nevertheless, Chris Hero and Kenta, if for one night only, picking up a huge victory in this, our main event.
Chris Hero standing tall in the center of the ring, beckoning his tag team partner Kenta to, I imagine, do the same. What an incredible main event here. West Coast Pro Monster as Hero and Kenta locking eyes in victory.
And that is Sparky, not Gil, Sparky raising the hands of Kenta and Hero after a hard-fought victory. James Kincaid, what can be said that already hasn't? 2 living legends in the pantheon of professional wrestling. What a privilege to have them here. What a privilege to be on the call.
And absolutely, 2 legends, victory, and Chris Hero has something to say.
West Coast Pro's home is in San Francisco. Right now, we're in Los Angeles. What about this? Is that your homie, Kenta? say fuck LA. Listen, I'm from Ohio. So all I'm going to say is this. All the differences between San Francisco, the Bay, Los Angeles, the City of Angels, is they're both motherfucking West Coast. We thank you, we love you.